Hey, what's up, my fellow small business supporters? It's Savvy. Welcome back to Savvy Writes Books. Today I am not going to be playing classically Savvy, your straight aunt from the 50s, because today's video really isn't about memes and jokes. I want to have a genuine discussion about what Classically Abby experienced over the past week and what we can take away from it and, what her views are on the topic and what that means overall.
Hit you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome for the first time. This is Savvy Writes Books, the channel where we talk about books and business, and sometimes we also do some commentary on feminism and the LGBT community and things like that. And that's kind of what today's video is going to be about. I've done a couple videos on this channel in the past about Classically Abby, also known as Abigail Shapiro, younger sister of Ben Shapiro. I've done a lot of videos on Ben Shapiro. I've reviewed his books. I've talked about why I don't agree with him on a lot of things. And to be honest, I don't agree with Classically Abby on a lot of things, but I am going to be coming to her defense while also disagreeing on a few other things. It's going to be nuanced, guys. It's going to be nuanced. So I've done a few videos on Classically Abby in the past. She has a YouTube channel right now with over 100,000 subscribers where she talks about her view of being classical, which to her involves kind of the trad wife aesthetic a little bit, kind of, dressing in a traditionally modest way, covering up a lot of your body. In some cases, wearing more old-fashioned styles, which is cool. I love vintage fashion and things like that. Also including discussions about feminism. Now, Abby is against feminism. She thinks that feminism is making women feel guilty for wanting to do the trad wife thing. I personally think that feminism is about giving women the option to pursue whatever path in life they want to, and the main thing that's shaming women out of trad wife life is a system without protections for mothers in the workplace, but that's a whole separate discussion. I've had that in a different video. I'll link it up in the cards. Abby and I disagree on most topics. I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and Abby often spreads misinformation about it, which is not something I like. However, I do want to give her a compliment and to commend her on the fact that I have seen her content take a turn for the better over the past year. I think when she first entered YouTube, she was doing a lot of things where she was being as controversial as possible on purpose to try to get, extreme right-wing people to come to her defense and extreme left-wing people to react with disgust at how she was behaving. I think she was trying to be extreme on purpose to get more clicks to her channel, especially because she was running a lot of ads and advertising all over everyone's feeds. And now her content has really calmed down a lot, and I kind of like the new direction that she's taking. She seems to now be focused on just documenting her life, talking about what she does, her plans to be a stay-at-home mom. I think she's planning to be a stay-at-home mom. I think she said that in a video. I'm not entirely sure. But her plans for that, what she's doing to prepare for her baby, how she likes to dress, her own fashion tips, things like that. I think that's great. If the way that Abby likes to dress works for her and makes her feel confident and happy, power to her, man. I love it. And she also just kind of plays BioShock with her husband on streams, and it's like, I love BioShock, dude. I'm happy for her. I think the fact that her content has focused more on what she does in her life and how that benefits her, rather than shaming other women for not doing those things or telling other women that they're being classical wrong because they don't dress as modestly as her or things like that. I didn't like when she took it in that direction, but if she's just going to focus on what works for her and giving tips based on that, excellent. Have a great time. I also want to congratulate Abby on her pregnancy. She is, I want to say, 8 months pregnant or something. She's very close to being able to give birth now. And I know that she had a really difficult road with that because she talked on her channel about having had a miscarriage. And I know that that was absolutely devastating for her because she really wanted to have a child. And I just can't imagine the tragedy of really wanting a child and losing that child. So Abby, congratulations on your pregnancy. I'm really glad this is going well for you. That's all I've got to say for that. So yeah, I've always kind of had mixed feelings on Abby. When she spreads misinformation about the LGBT community, I don't like that. Being part of that community myself, when she shames other women, I get really defensive and upset about that. However, when she just focuses on herself, I don't have a problem with that. I like to see people's content evolve and improve for the better. I'm not a believer in cancel culture. I think that we all have the ability to grow and improve. So one of the first videos that I talked about with Classically Abby over a year ago on this channel was the video that really went viral. I think it got over 1 million views, where she talked about this concept of modesty and what does it mean to dress modestly and to be modest.
Modesty is dressing in a way that doesn't sexualize your body.
And in that video, she kind of shamed other women, and I didn't like this video for that reason. She talked about modesty is a way that doesn't sexualize yourself. Modesty is the way to draw proper attention from men. If you dress like she does, you will draw the attention of men who like you for you as a person and who don't just want to like your body. And the thing that really bothered me about that is that we don't have control that much over how people perceive us. We can't really control how other people think and how other people feel. And as anyone who's been a woman on the internet probably knows, no matter what you do, there's going to be some person, usually a man, but I won't say always a man, but usually a man, there's going to be someone out there who will make a sexual comment towards you. It doesn't really matter how you're dressed, is what I'm getting at. I don't think women really have control over that, and so the best thing we can all do is to dress in the way that makes us feel most confident, to embrace our own personal style. If someone sexually harasses you, to call them out and to put a stop to that. Or for us as women to call out when someone sexually harasses one of our friends or we see it happening and things like that. I think telling women that dressing modestly is some kind of like shield against this is not only kind of rude, but also just incorrect. Like and this is what happened to Abby this week. So about a week ago, Abby had her baby shower. It looks like it went great. It was very pretty. Looks like she and her family had a wonderful time. And she posted some photos from her baby shower on her social media. Some of the men on the internet found these pictures and really took an interest in Abby's chest. Now, a lot of us know when a woman gets pregnant, often her chest is going to get larger, right? Because often your body wants to help you be able to breastfeed. I don't know all the specifics. I've never been pregnant. I don't know how it all works, but a lot of us know that a lot of times your chest is going to get larger if you're pregnant, right? Abby already had a sized chest. She was not flat-chested whatsoever. And with it amplified that. And a lot of men decided to make this into kind of a fetish. We're going to look at some examples, and I want to say I think this was wrong. This was very wrong. Abby did not deserve this. All she was trying to do is post pictures of her baby shower, and she got sexually harassed. What happened is she got sexually harassed. And that is wrong. Sexual harassment is always wrong. And I will say this did kind of hit home for me, because this coming Friday, I'm going to be posting my breast reduction vlog on this channel, but I'll put some before pictures up. As you guys know, I have always had a disproportionately large chest. I don't anymore. Because I had breast reduction about a week and a half ago. But without having surgical interference, I had a disproportionately large chest. And I've done videos and talked before about what it was like being sexualized as a child, being treated as an adult, and being treated as if it's my fault when adult men would give me sexual unwanted attention and things like that, and how just traumatizing that is to a young woman and what that does to your body image and how difficult that can make things for you. I'm really excited to post the breast reduction vlog. I'm very grateful that I was able to get that done. But my point is, someone having a feature on their body that you find physically attractive does not give you the right to start posting tons of sexual content about them on the internet. That's a real person. And as someone who has, in a way, gone through firsthand on a smaller scale, because I don't have nearly as large of a presence online as Abby does, but I know how she's feeling. And what happened to her was wrong. But there's also a larger discussion we need to have here. So let's pull up what happened on Twitter. So here is what Abby posted on Twitter. She said, "Internet trolls fetishized me this week. Does that undermine my point on modesty?" And then she posted a link to her Substack newsletter. And if you don't know, Substack, I think, is kind of like Patreon, where you can pay for exclusive content. We are going to take a look at the article as a whole. So I did actually pay to join her Substack just for this month because of that. Here is an example of some of the shit that people posted to Abby. Here's a picture of Abby at her baby shower saying, "Baby, it's dinner time," and then a picture of the baby saying, "Hell yeah, dude." This is gross. Like, this is really gross. I get that this person meant it as a joke, but Abby has expressed that she doesn't like this kind of joke. She doesn't like being sexualized publicly. She's not okay with that. Like me, at the very least, like I kind of, if people make sexual jokes about me, I find it funny. Like, it doesn't really faze me. It's very hard to offend me in a lot of ways, but just because that's how I see it does not mean that's how everyone sees it. In fact, for a lot of people, they don't feel that way about it. Abby has expressed from the beginning that she is someone who only ever had any type of sexual relation with her husband, and while I didn't choose that for my life, and I don't like that lifestyle for myself, if that's the life that she wants to live, is to, you know, do the abstinence till marriage thing, and that's the thing that makes her happy, she's welcome to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, feminism to me is all about giving women the free choice to choose if they ever want to have sex with anyone at all, and if they do, when they want to do that. And if they want to have sex with a lot of people, that's okay too. Like, it's all about letting women make free choices for themselves. Abby has made it very clear that her choice that she has made for herself as a woman is that she does not want to be sexualized. That is not how she wants to be treated. To post something like this, which is making a meme out of, like, this is sexualizing breastfeeding. That's what this is. Abby would not find this joke funny. And as a result, I think that this was cruel and this was sexual harassment to post this to her. Especially because the person replied to her on Twitter with this. Like, they tagged her in this. This wasn't just a meme that they shared with their friends and Abby never saw. They sent it to her directly. That's sexual harassment, plain and simple. Someone else responded to Abby with this. It's a gif of someone being covered in milk. You guys understand what the joke is there too, right? It's, again, making a sexual fetish out of breast milk, which, no kink shaming. If you personally have a breast milk fetish, go ahead and have fun. But Abby did not consent to being part of that. This person sent this to Abby and tagged her in there as a response to her baby shower pictures with Boba Fett, with it saying Booba Feta. Humor is all about knowing your audience too, and the fact that Abby herself wouldn't find this funny means that this is not a joke you're making to her. This is a joke that you are making at her expense. Abby posted this vlog about her baby shower. Someone responded with, "Girl, that dress is not very conservative." This dress literally covers her entire body. This is the kind of shit that really would get to me. Like, back when I was, just a teenager with massive boobs that I didn't ask for, it's like no matter what I wore, someone would say that's too revealing. Even if literally my entire body was covered just because the shape of my boobs was there. I couldn't help that. That was someone sexualizing me because of my body. Everybody is allowed to have the body type that they have without being subjected to other people's sexual harassment. Her dress not being conservative, that's just a lie. Her dress covers her entire body. You could have worn a dress like that in the 1800s and no one would have batted an eye. There was this comment that was not only sexual harassment, but also anti-Semitic. Abby is very religiously Jewish, and this was, again, people just responded to her baby shower vlog with more sexual memes. "Those boobs are amazing. I'm torn because I hate you and your brother's politics, but those fun bags are nice. And you weirdly look like your brother, but holy shit, Abby. I think you are in the wrong type of work." This was just constant comments like this she got solely because of that. It's unacceptable. So I want to take a look at how Abby herself responded to this. So Abby posted this article to her Substack page that says, "Internet trolls fetishize me this week. Does that undermine my point on modesty?" And I think this leads us into a larger discussion that is really important to have. Also, I'll say her baby shower looks lovely. I love all the cute teddy bears and stuff that she had there. So she says, "For those of you who don't know, last week internet trolls decided to pick up photos from my baby shower. Oh, dude, this was a thing that happened. I didn't even show any of these. There were some photos where people actually did Photoshop her chest, and they made her chest, like, it was already pretty big. People made it even bigger in some photos. We're not going to look at those, but there were some Photoshopped ones that went around too." And she says, "And sexually fetishize me. In the last few days, I've gained thousands of followers on all my social platforms, most of whom are only there to make me into a meme. Normally, I don't care when internet trolls come after me. It's happened for years now, and at some point you get used to it. But this time it got under my skin. How could someone sexualize a pregnant woman at her baby shower? It was just so gross." And so here's the thing I would add to this too. I completely agree. Abby was just living her life, being at her baby shower, and the attention she got was completely non-consensual. That was wrong. I think she's also missing the point, though, that The fact that she's pregnant at her baby shower, it doesn't really matter what situation she's in. You shouldn't be making unwanted sexual comments towards not just a woman, a man too. You shouldn't be making unwanted sexual comments toward anybody in any situation, because sexual contact with someone is all about the interaction being consensual, the interaction being safe. And if you make a sexual comment towards someone and they say, hey, I'm really not comfortable with that, you gotta stop. You gotta stop immediately. But instead, these people piled on and sexually harassed Abby constantly, and that was wrong. But my point is that it doesn't matter if she's pregnant, it doesn't matter if she's at a baby shower, it doesn't matter what the situation is, it's wrong regardless. I agree with her, though, that it was gross. She said, I quickly overcame the feeling when I remember how sad and depraved many of these men are, and how they truly have nothing better to do. Abby literally was like, y'all are a bunch of cuck simps, like, go jerk off in the basement. Ben Shapiro's sister called you a soy boy cuck 2022. She said, as I scrolled through comments on some of my latest feeds and posts, I noticed a trend among women asking me this. As someone who is a proponent of modesty, how can Abby say it's even important? If Abby is going to be sexually fetishized even when she's dressing modestly, then what is the point? Maybe some women did ask her that. I certainly didn't. The thing that I would say is slightly different than this, but it sounds like it has similar wording, so it can easily be misconstrued as this, right? I personally think the point to dressing modestly is that if you are a person who dressing in that way gives you confidence, makes you feel like yourself, makes you feel happy, then the purpose is that that is the way that you want to present yourself to the world. That is the way that makes you happy. So I do think there is a point, but the point is very based on the individual and what value they place on it. You can't, again, this is the thing, you can't control other people's perceptions of you. You can't control what other people's values are going to be. You can only really control yourself and who you choose to surround yourself with, right? So I think the problem I was having was that she had presented this message for a while that dressing modestly was the way to avoid being sexualized. And this kind of showed that there are going to be gross ass men regardless, right? So I guess the idea is if you were only dressing modestly, like if you didn't actually like dressing modestly and you were just doing it because you were afraid of getting sexually harassed, it's kind of like yeah, this isn't like some kind of super shield against sexual harassment. It can still happen to you regardless, because there are some people who are just going to be gross regardless, right? Sexual harassment doesn't happen because someone was asking for it. It happens because somebody else, the harasser, chose not to respect that person's boundaries. And I think that that's what's getting a little lost in translation here. But let's continue. She said, I understand the impulse to throw modesty out the window when you've been fetishized even in your efforts not to be. But being modest is a core tenet of my personality, and I think it's incredibly important, despite the fact that the internet takes joy in commenting on my body even when I'm not showing it off. And here's the thing. I think this is fine right here, where she says, being modest is a core tenet of my personality. That is her personal style, her personal values. I congratulate her for feeling confident in herself and knowing the way that she likes to dress and how she likes to live her life. I think that's wonderful, and I'm happy that she does that. But I don't think it's fair to impose it on other people. That's where I draw the line. So she continues, there are a few elements of modesty that I think are pertinent here, so I'd like to share my thoughts. She says here, if a man is sexualizing you when you're dressed modestly, that's on him, not you. I would say that this sentence is correct. It's true. I mean, no doubt about it. It's completely true. That's on him, not you, 100%. Abby was not at all at fault for this. However, I would say that I would edit this sentence a little bit and just cut this part out entirely. If a man is sexualizing you, that's on him. Because again, we can never control other people's reactions to us. So the adding when you're dressed modestly, I think, is still kind of victim blaming women who were sexually harassed when not dressed modestly, because they didn't deserve it either. But let's continue. She says, when we dress modestly, we know what our intentions are. We are choosing to uphold beauty above sexuality while allowing someone to get to know our personalities before focusing on our bodies. Now, this part here, I think, is a wild overgeneralization, right? The concepts of beauty and sexuality are very vague topics. What someone finds sexually attractive, what someone finds beautiful, it's subjective. There's no objective measure of this. There's no, I find naked women sexual and clothed women beautiful. Some people may also find clothed women sexual and naked women beautiful, like in a Renaissance work of art or something, right? This is not black and white. This is not a hard line anywhere. None of this is objective. So the idea that it's like, this is beauty and this is sexuality and we can put these things, that's not how it works. And I think this is a vastly oversimplified view of this. And I think that getting to know your personality before focusing on your body, that really doesn't matter how much of your body you're showing. Because if you're dressing in a style that you like that makes you feel comfortable, even if it does show more skin, that's still allowing someone to get to know your personality, because your personality is that that's the way you like to dress. Maybe one of the things about you is that you take pride in your body. Maybe you're a bodybuilder or something and you want to show off all the muscles because that's not just how you look, it's also your hobby, it's also the hard work that you do. So again, this is just a wild oversimplification. She said, if a man decides to sexualize you even when you've made your best effort to put who you are at the forefront, that's his problem. And I will say, boiling things down to who you are and your body, it's like she's acting like these are two completely separate things. People aren't only their bodies, but our bodies are a part of us. They're a part of our lives. So someone saying this is who I am and this is my body as if they're two separate things, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. Our bodies are a part of us. So again, it does feel a little victim blaming toward women who aren't dressed modestly. Again, I will repeat, no matter how you are dressed, if someone sexually harasses you, that is their fault, not yours. She's kind of making it sound like it's not my fault I was sexually harassed, but it might have been your fault if you were sexually harassed. I think that's kind of gross. I think that's pretty gross. But I also think that she was the victim in this situation. So again, I'm telling you guys, this is a nuanced discussion. This isn't a black and white type of situation. So she continues, modest respecting yourself and knowing your own worth. Why give someone access to your body who is so undeserving? This is my favorite thing about modesty. More than anything, modesty is about respecting and loving your body by keeping it special for yourself and your husband. That's how she personally feels, and that's great. I don't think every woman feels that way, and that's okay too. This is all about, again, it's all about personal choice. Abby personally thinks there's a special value in only allowing her husband to see her without clothes on. And if that's something she finds special, and that's something that, you know, makes her emotionally fulfilled, I'm glad that she's had that experience, and I'm glad that she's gotten to live her life on her own terms. I think that's wonderful. You know, just because that's not how I've lived my life doesn't mean that I feel that my own body's any less special or anything like that. And I don't think it's fair to place that burden on women to make them think that your body's less special because you allowed more people to see it or anything like that. Keeping things secret and private gives them a unique value, and your body is no different. Again, that depends what your personal values are. So why would we give access to our body to people who don't deserve it? I agree that we shouldn't give access to our body to people who don't deserve it. 100%. But it's up to the individual to decide who deserves it. In Abby's opinion, only her husband deserves to get to see her without clothes, and that is her right to set that boundary. Completely her right. I personally don't mind if more people see me without clothes. If I choose that there are more people who, in my subjective opinion, deserve to get to see my body, then that's my choice, right? And for her, it's her choice that she has decided that's only her husband. So again, it just seems like this should be all about personal choice, but she's kind of implying that her way is the only right way. She says, yes, an internet troll can fetishize me when I'm dressed modestly, but I haven't given him anything of myself in the process, and that's a good feeling. I'm in control of what I share. I think that's valid. I think that's valid right there, that she's like, this person has chosen to make sexual comments about me, but he will never get to see my body because that he does not have access to me, and I will never grant him that. I think that is an empowering statement, and I am glad to see that Abby has that confidence in herself. I think there's nothing wrong with that. She's right. Those people don't deserve. They don't deserve anything nobody deserves anything you're not consensually willing to give them, right? She says, modesty isn't about stopping bad men from being bad. It's about helping good men focus on who you are. Well, here's the thing though. If they're good men, they shouldn't be sexualizing you when you're dressed non-modestly too, right? If we're talking about good men should be respecting your boundaries too, even if you are dressed more revealing. So I'm not sure, would she still consider a man good if, like, for example, if I'm wearing a more revealing outfit and I got sexually harassed, but that guy didn't sexually harass Abby while she's wearing a modest outfit, would she still consider that man a good man because he respected her modesty? Like, that's the part that's a little bit, I'm not sure here. And she doesn't come right out and say that directly, but that's kind of the implication that I'm getting. So I'm not really a fan of that. She says, I think this is the greatest misperception about modesty. Modesty isn't about making bad men into good men. Bad men who want to sexualize you are not going to be deterred by your modesty, unfortunately. That is a true statement. She is absolutely right that there are some gross ass men out there who are just going to continue to be gross. And the best thing to do is to call them out for it and to tell them to shut the fuck up. And I mean, I also think beyond that, there's like a systemic element to this where we do want to you know, educate everyone, not just men, women, everyone. We want to educate everyone about the importance of respecting other people's boundaries, of communication in any type of sexual encounter. I think because there is this kind of purity culture that makes sex this taboo topic to talk about, we get a lot of people who never really learn how to socially navigate it or what good sexual communication looks like, and that's a massive issue as well. I think there's a lot of issues, and we could spend all day talking about potential solutions, but I think again it's more complicated than just this. She says, but what modesty does do is help good men focus on your personality. Again, if this man is a good and respectful guy, he should be able to focus on your personality even if you are dressed in a more revealing way. I understand that he might find your body attractive and might be thinking about it, but we're all in control of what we say to other people. We're all in control of the interactions that we have. We're not feral animals, right? Like, if a man is attracted to you and you're showing off more of your body and he's choosing to only talk about your body even when you're trying to talk about other topics, I wouldn't consider that a good man, right? That's a bad guy who's still just being a dick. She says, even a good man can be distracted by your body. In fact, that's entirely normal. He can be distracted by it, but he can choose not to focus on that. Again, we're all in control of our, again, if I see an attractive woman, I will probably be a little distracted, regardless of how she's dressed, honestly. Just like if I see someone I'm attracted to, I'll be a little distracted by my attraction to them. But that doesn't mean that's all I'm going to talk to them about, because I want to get to know people as people, right? As she says, by dressing modestly, you're allowing him to get to know you on a higher level. You can still have in-depth conversations with someone, you could both be naked and have a deep conversation. I have deep conversations with people naked all the time. Not all the time, just like sometimes. Not that often. And that's what you really want. A man who will love and respect and cherish you for you. But that's the thing, dude. I feel like it would be an even greater test of how good this man is if you can dress like half naked in front of him and he can still hold down a conversation with you about like deep philosophical topics or your emotional connections or whatever. Then you know that's someone who's really invested. I don't think you should have to dress modestly to find that out. She said, so did this past week's incident change my mind about modesty? Not one iota. As always, I find joy in modesty, and I hope that seeing me embrace it even in a situation like this brings you inspiration too. I don't have a problem with modesty bringing... In fact, it's like what Marie Kondo says. I love Marie Kondo. You do what sparks joy, right? You keep what sparks joy in your life. For Abby, modest clothes are the ones that spark joy. I never thought that this situation would change her view on modesty. I don't think anyone thought it would change her view on modesty in the fact that it would make her not care about dressing modest anymore, because that's her personal style. That's how she feels confident. That's kind of who she is, and that's great. I think people more so, myself included, thought maybe it would change her view on whether it's okay to shame other women for not dressing modestly. And I'm kind of sad to see that it didn't change her view on that, because she's seen firsthand how men are going to be gross regardless. But with all of that in mind, I want to say nobody deserves sexual harassment. Abby, you did not deserve what happened to you, and I'm very sorry that it did. So what did you guys think of this video and this discussion? Please let me know in the comments below. I will be back on Friday with my full vlog about my breast reduction surgery and all my information about how that went. Also, join me on Your Morning Guru tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central for another live morning show. I'll see you guys then. Keep on supporting small businesses. Have a fantastic start to your day. Bye.
Hit you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.